Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Today, I'm here to talk about a book that I have started and stopped. Two, three, sometimes. But I actually sat down, read it, finished it. Let's get into it. Okay. That book is The Love Songs of W.E.B. Dubois. This book, when I got it, I started to read it. I think I got literally 2 pages in. Then I put it down. Then I picked it up again months later and I started to read it. But I had to do too much reading for work at that time. So I put it back down. And then I feel like I picked it up a third time. And I don't even know if I read it. I was just I'm not in the mood for it. But recently, I picked it up because I was I feel like I want to read this now. I really do. Y'all, this is, how many pages is this? 800-ish pages of brilliance. I'm so impressed with this. And I'm I want to be mad that I didn't read it before now, but I'm not because I felt like I read it at the perfect time. This was good. I'm thoroughly impressed. I am thoroughly impressed with it. So what it is it's an intergenerational, multi-generational family saga. It has 2 primary storylines, one set in the past, one set in the future. But the way that the story is set up, you see, it's the present storyline slowly over time understanding their history, their family's history, the good and the bad. They understand their ancestry. They understand the nationalities that make up their roots. You have some indigenous representation in there. You have African representation in there. And it's so good. The pacing is on point. Okay, the pacing is on point. She takes her time when she writes this. It's so good. The characters are dynamic and they feel real. The ones that you're not supposed to like, you really don't. It feels like somebody telling you about their life story and you really don't like that person. Another thing that I like about this, so the present day characters, Allie is the main character of the present day. Her 2 sisters and her, it's 3 of them. And they are the perfect representation of that eldest child, the eldest daughter, the middle girl, and the youngest daughter. Their roles, they fit into them so well. I'm the middle child, and low-key, it fits pretty well, on both ends of that. So yeah, let me go back and forth. So let me start with the present day. So in the present day storyline, you have Allie, who is figuring her life out. Her and her sisters deal with trauma in their youth. They don't know how deep their roots run. They have a dad that they love, a mom that they love, but that don't quite understand them. They're raised by a religious mom, and they dad not so much. He's really not, but he's a doctor and he's present in their lives. Some stuff happens with their parents. You kind of get to see. And each girl of the family, they have their own path that they take. Allie, the main one that we know about, and we kind of see her sisters almost in relation to her, is she goes the college route. And she's just trying to figure it out. She the baby girl, and she can be a little, how babies are. They don't really see everything for everything that it is. And so she's figuring it out. She ends up finding her path. And her path of what she goes to actually do for her career ends up uncovering some truths that people didn't know about her family's history and the people that made up her lineage. The oldest daughter, so like I said, all 3 sisters, experienced trauma growing up. But the oldest daughter, she she took a different path, and it ended tragically. But you got to see, again, nothing was rushed, so you really got to understand why she was who she was. Like her older sister's name is Lydia. You got to see how she became who she became, the path that she took, and you got to see it unfold slowly. Everybody's storyline from like their childhood on upward to like, adulthood. And you got to kind of empathize with her, sympathize with some stuff, understand where she was at, stuff she was dealing with. And then you had the middle child, Coco, who was just like, still, she was dealing with trauma herself, but she just handled it a little bit differently. They all had like some kind of form of PTSD, manifested different ways in all of them. And it caused issues in their family life, caused issues with their grandma, they parents, almost in and out to a certain degree. And yeah, you got to see like their relationship that they had with their Uncle Root. That was so pure and cool to have like that representation of, a positive uncle in your life, because I got a favorite uncle too, I ain't gonna lie. And in this book, he was a favorite uncle, and he was like, just somebody who had wisdom, and he would always tell them stories about his life. But every time he tells it, he feels like, okay, you're a little bit older, I can give you a little bit more. And they were stories about W.E.B. Dubois and about, his life and stuff like that. And so it was just so cool to see that the older generation telling like family history to younger generations since they were little. And then the older they got, the more like nuanced and complex the stories got. And it evolved into something else at the end. And I really enjoyed that. I loved when Allie was talking to her Uncle Root and he would like tell them XYZ. I love when he would give her like relationship advice and stuff like that from a very wholesome point of view. It was cool. Yeah, you got to see so many facets of their life. Like, it was so good. Okay, so that's the present day. Then you have the past storyline where you can really, really see that the author put a lot of time and attention into researching this. She put it on a page, but it wasn't so overwhelming to where you it wasn't an info dump. It was ambitious, but actually very well done. So she talks about the indigenous people that was on the land, which was then became known as Georgia, but they were called Creek people. How stuff changed over time. So like that was their land before it was Georgia, before they got kicked out, before they got ran off, before they were murdered, and how they lived, what was important to them, the spirituality that they practiced. And then you got to see what changed around them, how America changed at that time, and how these certain groups of people, the names of them started changing, but at their core, they're still the same. The name just changed. The identity was the same, but the names changed. And so, yeah, you follow these two kind of bloodlines of the indigenous people, or three, the indigenous people, like African people, and then you have white people. And how those bloodlines crossed or didn't cross, what came of that, who became who. This is a big family tree. I love that she put this tree on here. Which this tree, now that I'm thinking about it, is symbolic for a lot of things. The story that Uncle Root told is symbolic of the family trees that were spaced out over this book. Yeah. This was good, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. I think when I first went into this, I was expecting, what was I expecting? I was expecting a deep love story that spanned 800-ish pages. I think that's what I was expecting. naively enough, because it's called The Love Songs of W.E.B. Dubois. I don't know why I just saw love songs and I was like, oh yeah, it's about to be a love story, like a slow burn romance. And this is a love story of sorts, but not romantically. It's one of family. It's one of history. It's one of like the connection you have to yourself and your past and your roots and the land and your lineage. Like, and then what goes into like your last name. This is a very womanist book, but it wasn't heavy-handed. It was, but it wasn't like annoying. It was heavy-handed enough to drive the point home of what the author was trying to convey. I appreciated that. Y'all, I enjoyed this. I truly, truly enjoyed this. And I wasn't going to review this book in here, but I mean, this other book I'm about to bring up. But let me bring up this other book because this brings me to it. I really enjoyed this. You see, 800-ish pages. Before I read that, 2 books ago, I read Hours by Phillip B. Williams. How many pages is this? Oh, no. 580. Dang. That's insane. It looked about, I thought that was the same amount of pages. Anyways, this book is what I was expecting this book to be, kinda. This book is, it's ambitious as well. You know how I just said this is ambitious, but well done. This is ambitious, and I feel like kinda didn't quite it didn't quite get to where I thought I wanted it to go. I mainly kept reading it to hear what happened to like the guardian figure of the book. So there's this guardian figure. So yeah, there's this guardian figure. Her name is Saint, and a very mysterious character. And I kept reading it because I wanted the story to reveal more about her. I was like, what is going on? Because she almost seemed like this, like great, not morally great, but like, I'm gonna do what's good for y'all, but based on what I think is good for y'all. Like, I'm gonna take care of y'all. I'm gonna be a guardian. I'm gonna be a protector, but only when I see fit and in the ways that I see fit. So I was like, that's kind of interesting. It was full of like folklore and full of like African type spirituality. The town's name is called Hours, and it is a freed town that's kind of covered, protected, shielded, hidden by witchcraft / magic. And I was like, that sounds interesting. Like, what is this about? And if I would have read this synopsis and this synopsis, I would have probably thought I would have liked Hours more. And I totally didn't. This right here, I feel like the synopsis didn't even do it justice. Like, I don't even know what the synopsis was, but I just feel like you can't, looking at this, I didn't get just how good it was. Looking at this, I was totally intrigued by this cover. When I read the synopsis, I was like, yeah. I started reading the first few pages. It's so, look, we got my receipt. How much I pay for this? Okay, anyways, I started reading the first few pages and I was like, dang, this is good. But at a certain point, it kind of dropped off for me. Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that it was set in St. Louis. I like the fact that it was very much highlighting community and family and the folklore piece and the magic system. But I just feel like I didn't get enough of it. I don't know. I feel like I got a lot of something because it was long, but it was like, I don't know what was missing. I'm not an author. I just feel like a piece. It was something there that wasn't like tying the whole thing together. And then I read a different book in between these two. And then I read this one and I was like, this is what I'm talking about. If I'm sitting down with a book for 500 to 800 pages, because I'm going to put these together. If I'm sitting down with a book for this long, I want it to hit like this. This is what I want. I want it to hit. I mean, you get lost in the pages. Like, yes, it's long, but you grow to like know and understand these characters from different perspectives. Like, that's the best part. And then you see, I love when the two main storylines come to like this point, and it's almost like a relief, or like, I'm so glad that you took your time to tie all this together. It was worth it. So worth it, y'all. So let me know. This started off to be just a review on this, but I had this one in the windowsill and I did read it before this. And I wanted this to be something else. I don't know. I love the way it was written. Like, I like the author's writing style. I just feel like the pacing was a little off, and it was drawn out, and too many things were drawn out to where like almost nothing was happening, but it seemed like something was happening. And I'm not even saying, like, I don't even have to feel like something always has to be happening in the book, but I feel like even the down times in a book has to have some kind of purpose. Like, it's got to serve some type of purpose. And in this, the purpose was, it was laying that foundation. You were understanding the family tree when you didn't even realize you were understanding characters like Psyche. You were understanding the lead up to some of the decisions and some of the actions that were taken. You were understanding just so, like, the downtime was so good. Trigger warnings in this, yeah, of course, it's trigger warnings in this, but it was good. And then you got, it wasn't about W.E.B. Dubois for real. Like, it had his, I guess some of his, like, ideologies woven into it. It was like an appreciation for him to a certain degree in this. But it wasn't like, oh, I'm about to learn about W.E.B. Du Bois. It's not like that. You're going to have to read some of his stuff for that. But it was so good. This wasn't bad, but it wasn't this. So if you've read either one of these, let me know what you think. Which one did you like? I'm so blown away, mainly because I'm thinking back to, like, I really tried to read this 2 to 3 times and just put it down and was like, I'm not feeling it. But when you get in there, and it ain't even deep because I had only read a few pages. I'm going to say not even a chapter. Once you get, like, in the rhythm and you, like, in the mood to read it, it's so good, y'all. It's so good. Let me know if you've read this and what you think. And if you've read this, I feel like, I'm not saying it's bad. It's not bad. This is not a bad book. It is, yeah, it's not bad. I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. I didn't love it. Love this. Liked, loved. Both good. Both black authors, if that matters to you. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Let me know if you've read these. I had at least 4 people, when I posted my review on Instagram, tell me, like, yeah, I've had this book on my shelf for years. And I haven't read it, so I'm going to read it. Same thing with this. I feel like a lot of people got these on their shelves and haven't read them. Do you have these on your shelf? And have you read them? Let me know. But yeah, y'all, that's it. I'm going to get on out of here. See you on the next one.